Do y'all have any questions before we get kind of officially started? Yeah, I'm recording. I wanted to make sure I'm recording. No questions?
Is there a time limit on the exam?
3 hours. It's not any longer. I mean, well, you hadn't had another test. I'm sorry, that was tacky. 3 hours. There's 25 conceptual, 1 point, 25 problems, 3 points. Yep. And it's all in Excel. So that's a plus.
You said 50 total, 25 conceptual, 1 point, 25, 5 point?
3 point.
3 points, 3 points, sorry.
Yeah.
Will there be any weight towards certain chapters?
You know, I've got a thing and I'm going, oh, they have seen something. I can hear them. I don't know what it is. Dogs. I've got a thing and I did break it down into which chapters. It's pretty well spread. The problems are pretty well spread out over the whole thing. When we get, I'll let a few more people come and I'll pull it up and talk about it. But the problems are pretty much what you'd expect. I mean, let's face it, NPV is on there.
Right.
Return is on there. Black-Scholes option pricing model is on there. You'll be happy to know that percent rank is not on there. Yeah. And in fact, I've been getting, I got email yesterday from Michael Earhart, the co-author on your textbook, Brigham Earhart. Faculty never know the actual name of a textbook. We call it by the author's name. This is Brigham Earhart. And Michael Earhart is the lead author. And now Brigham's probably emeritus at the University of Florida. And Michael Earhart's at UT, University of Tennessee. Because we had emailed about that very problem in chapter 10, that chapter 10 Excel, where project B is a 6-year project for MIRR. Here's the problem. Back in the 331 textbook, it's a similar problem, and it specifically says project B is a 7-year project. And I said, he was saying, well, here's my logic, on it for this book. And I said, no, you're right. It's the other one that's wrong. This is right. I mean, think about it. If you've got 6 years of cash flow and the 7th year is 0, that doesn't make it a 7-year project. I could add year 8, 9, and 10, 0, and it wouldn't make it a 10-year project. It's still a 6-year project. There are, that's it. So we've been back and forth on that. He's very nice. They're working on the new edition of the book. It'll come out next year. So I've had my say on that. But actually, it's the other book that I don't like the answer. So I'm afraid I have deluged McGraw-Hill. I've been escalated up. I don't just talk to my rep now. I talk to the finance team leader because I sent in so many things saying, why is this like this? This doesn't look right. This answer is wrong. But they're getting tired of hearing from me. But at any rate, I figure if you don't tell them, how are they going to fix it? Hey, Llewellyn, how are you?
Hey, Dr. Kugley. I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I see a little fuzzy there with you.
Oh, yeah, this is Lucy.
Hi, Lucy. Lucy's being good.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
I could hold one of mine in my lap, but they're liable to start wiggling, and not a good plan. Not a good plan. They're better off in the other room.
She's a total lap dog.
Mine are pretty well. I have 2 Maltese. They're pretty well lap dogs, but they, like I say, if they hear a noise or see a squirrel, I have a Ring doorbell. I do not need it. Trust me on this. Because I have a wood door and then I have a glass door. And during the day, I have the wood door open so they can see out. We live on a cove. I live on a cove, so it's not a whole lot of action. They tell me before the ring, before anything, the Amazon man is here.
Of course.
Yeah. Amazon's very big on our street. We're having a lot of activity though. Somebody at the end is moving to Greenville, South Carolina, and a new people just bought the house across the street and they're moving in. So they have a lot of activity to get to watch. It's been very entertaining.
They have lots to say then.
Yes. It keeps them out of trouble. They're loving having mama home all the time, I can tell you.
Oh, I bet.
When I get dressed and like have a purse, they look at me like, you're leaving? Where are you going? This isn't right. You're supposed to stay here with us. But at any rate, what are y'all planning for Thanksgiving while we wait for folks to join us? What's the
Well, for me, my son is, for now, he's in, oh goodness gracious, he's in Georgia, Fort Benning, and they can't leave. So we'll be bringing Thanksgiving to him.
good for you? I was saying before you got on, one of my cousins has a farm up in Mason, Tennessee, and we usually go up there for Thanksgiving, have a big bonfire. They have horses. We shoot, we eat, and I think we're doing it. I think, but it's kind of 50-50 on this thing. We've got a lot of grandchildren coming home from college, coming from all over the country for college. They're kind of worried about this. So I don't know.
Sure.
I'm not too sure. Not too sure what we're going to do. And I'm not too sure even getting tested. I mean, I realize the thing, Elon Musk, I realize he got the quick test. He got the rapid test, which is not supposed to be that good. Have y'all read that? He got tested 4 times in one day, 2 negative, 2 positive.
Oh goodness gracious.
Gives you a lot of trust, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. We'll have to see. It's 7:59. We'll give a few more minutes for people to join, and I'll start actually talking about something. Okay, Derek, Lou, Catherine, Clint. Clint is here, and Stephen. Hello. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. I've been here all day. I've been grading chapter 10. That was my project today. Actually, everybody did really good. I was grading chapter 10. And on that note, let me say, I have to grade the final manually. So just be patient. Because there's 55 of you, and I have to grade the whole thing manually. So it'll take me a little while. I'll get it done. They've given us a big window. I don't think grades are due in until sometime in December because they didn't want faculty to have to grade over Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think December 7th is the earliest grading date. Yeah, I saw that.
I'll have it before then, trust me. I mean, I can do better than that, but yeah, I thought that was very nice. It's very nice, but I don't know. I guess I better get used to this. Right now, all my classes are online right now, so they're all recorded. But come spring, all my classes, undergrad, are going to be remote, Zoom.
The live sessions, kind of.
Yeah, I'm not overwhelmed, but I think it will be better for students to have a day and time to show up. I think you got the picture. I think that's going to be a bit better. We'll see. We'll see.
You'll do well.
Yeah. Well, one of my classes is a cases class. I can't think what the name of the thing is, but it's Harvard business cases, and they present them as groups. So it's just about got to be Zoom. It can't be recorded. It's not that kind of class. So we did it. We finished it out last spring like that. So I guess we can again.
Okay.
Okay. We'll give them another minute, and then I actually have a plan. Oh, they're in their little beds in there. I can see them. This is good. Hearing noises. Oh, good. I got lots of people. This is great. I shouldn't say this, but I did a review. It wasn't a review. I was going to go over the problems from a test in one of my undergrad classes like a week or so ago. I did a Zoom thing. Not one person showed up. Try that. Yep. I said, well, I guess they don't want to see it. Okay, what I'm going to talk about. Share my screen. Let me find the thing I want. No, I don't want that. I guess maybe I want that because I want to go back over here to Blackboard. Okay, I'm gonna move this thing out of the way. Okay, I want to talk about the notes. Is this the one? No, that's not the one I want. Could be that one. Nope, that's not the one I want either. Well, anyway, the actual notes that I put out there, let me go back and find the one I want to talk about. Final exam. Formula sheet is right. I'm going to put this down. Sample tests seem to work. Formulas are right there. They're real long because when you're pulling them off, they come off as a PDF and there'll be blank pages and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, you just have to print them and throw them away. Here's the thing I want. I don't want the examples. I want the instruction. I think this is the thing I want. Yeah. Okay. It is 50% of your grade. This is all on there. It opens up Friday at 12 a.m. You can take it anytime over the weekend. Proctorio, you've all tried that, I hope, so you're sure it works. The one thing on here that is not true, it is not going to block downloads. That's why the sample test didn't work, because I was blocking downloads and you have to download the template. Amelia, the Blackboard guru, found that for me. Otherwise, it is going to do all of this. It does record you. It records your screen. It won't let you print. You know, it verifies who you are. I don't think we have any active duty military outside the U.S. in this class. I have before. Had them actually 2 or 3 times in Afghanistan, deployed in Afghanistan while they were taking this. So is everybody good to go on Proctorio? You think you're going to be okay with that? Any questions about it? If you haven't tried the sample test, go try it, the Proctorio, and make sure you're okay. Now, I'll be around. So if you have a problem, we can probably get it fixed because you got, you know, like Friday to Monday to take the test. But better if you're sure you can, you know, that you're okay with it. Let's see what else we have to say. You can have the formula sheet. You've got 3 hours, and I'm going to go find the sample test here. I want to share something else. I want to share this right here. Go away. I'll share that. Okay. This was the sample test posted out there. There's only one question showing, but there's 25 of them. That's the format of it. What's the best measure? The answer is beta. And if I put D right there, let me keep having to move this thing around. If I go look at the grading recap, get over there. There's the D. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to fill in tab 1 and 2. I'm going to pull up the grading recap and print it just like I would grade a written test. I'll grade these. I'll grade your answers over here on the problems. If something's wrong over here, then I'm going to go look at how you actually worked it over here and see if there's partial credit. On the problems, I've given you all the data sitting there in Excel with the problem, and I've kind of set you up to solve it. So here's how the actual solution was. If I pick this up right up there, then if I look on the grading recap, there it is. That's how it works.
Will each question be laid out that way?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. They absolutely are. So like for the Black-Scholes option pricing model, it's got D1 and then D1, blah, 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 you know, for you to fill in. Because I need to be able to figure out partial credit. You know, I need to be able to figure out where you went wrong. And like I said, there's 2. Originally, way back when I first taught the class, I didn't use Excel for the test. And so many of the students wanted to use Excel because, I mean, something like Black-Scholes, my gosh, I mean, it's so much easier in Excel. Oh, her little ARF there. And so I had a grant one year to create those videos, those tutorial videos, and to develop a way to use Excel in the test. So this way, it's a twofer. You improve your Excel skills, you get the power, be able to use the power of Excel on the test, and I can see whether you deserve partial credit or not. Because when I go over here and look at this, I can see, oh gosh, you know, you did that, but you forgot to divide that by 12. Okay, that's not all 3 points off. That might be one off for that. So it's a way of show your work. In the finance department in general requires show your work on any quantitative problem. This is a way for you to show your work. So it does give you the benefit of getting partial credit. And all of these cells out here, I mean, they're nice and white right this minute. You can use them for anything. You can use them to do, some of your calculations. That's fine. But yes, all the problems are laid out just like that. And the answer cell is darker. So if you put your answer in the right cell, it shows up over here for me. Make sense? Sort of?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Good. Okay. Let me talk about the conceptual questions.
Can you go back to this tab 2, please?
Sure. Right there.
So we will be filling in those, the solution tabs, right? Those.
Mhm.
Okay. What about these, like above them, like do we need to do anything there?
Right up here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I put this down here to show you what the solution would have looked like.
Mhm.
See, and because I gave you the data, then I would say, well, 25 times 12. That's how I would get that. The
Okay.
rate would be, where is it? The interest rate divided by 12. I was just showing you what the solution should look like. So then, see, I can see everything you did, and I'll be able to see the payment function
Okay.
that you used it. Yeah,
Thank you.
of course. Not a problem. Okay, let me put that down and go get something else. Which one do I want? Okay. That's good enough. Okay. 25 conceptual, 1 point, 25 problems at 3 points. Those are the general categories for the problems. I want to talk about the conceptual for a minute because those are always the ones at every level. Everybody is, my screen sharing is paused. Are you seeing? Well, it said it was paused, but I don't know why. I think that's the thing I want. Okay. I probably leaned on the keyboard. I want to talk about the conceptual. There's 25 of them. They look just like that. And I looked at all 25 of them today. Probably 6 of them relate to a formula. Meaning, let me give you an example of one. This is an actual problem question. In fact, it's in the first question on the test. You plan to analyze the value of a potential investment by calculating the sum of the present values of its expected cash flows. Which of the following would increase the calculated value of the investment? Discount rate increases. Cash flows are a deferred annuity. Discount rate decreases. Riskiness increases. Total amount remains the same, but more of them are in later years. Discount rate decreases. It's a present value. If you divide by a smaller number, you get a bigger number. That's one related to a formula. Okay, there are 14 that are definitional. Let me find a good definition one for you. Okay, here's one. Which of the following statements is correct? Here are your choices. NPV method assumes that cash flows will be reinvested at the risk-free rate. NPV method assumes cash flows will be reinvested at the cost of capital, while the IRR method assumes they'll be reinvested at the risk-free rate. NPV method does not consider all relevant cash flows. IRR method does not consider all relevant cash flows. The NPV method assumes the cash flows will be reinvested at the cost of capital, while the IRR method assumes reinvestment at the internal rate of return. That last one is correct. That's a definition of NPV. That's one of the issues. It assumes reinvestment at the cost of capital. The internal rate of return assumes reinvestment at the internal rate of return. So that's a definition. There's 5 that I kind of considered concepts. And here's one of those. If markets are in equilibrium, which of the following conditions exist? Each stock's expected return should equal its required return. All stocks have the same expected return. Expected return and required returns on stocks and bonds should be equal. All stocks should have the same realized return during the coming year, and each stock's expected return should equal its realized return. The answer was the first one. Expected should equal required. Am I helping? Did I just confuse it further?
Helping.
Okay. Those are the types of questions. And like I say, a lot of them are definitional, and they are, I think, pretty straightforward. Okay, let me go over here to, what have I got here? Okay. Are you seeing a color chart now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, here's the problems. And there's the chapters that they come from. So you can see it's pretty spread out over the whole semester. Obviously, time value of money basics from chapter 4. The mortgage payment. I'd say there's a problem, chapter 4, number 8, end of chapter. It looks like that. Net operating working capital. That's from chapter 2. I could give you some problem numbers, but they're pretty straightforward. The price of a semi-annual bond, yield to maturity, yield to call. Out of chapter 6, expected return and standard deviation. You knew you were going to see that one. That's chapter 6. I think it's problem number 6 at the end of the chapter. And expected return and beta of a portfolio. Chapter 9, the constant growth model, the cost of new equity. Non-constant growth stock. That really ought to be, well, yeah, I guess it is. Chapter 7, and value of operations using the free cash flow method. Black-Scholes option pricing model. That's going to look just like your Excel assignment, except you don't have to do the put or the put call parity. It's going to look just like the Excel assignment. Weighted average cost of capital and finding its components. That's all from chapter 9. No surprise, chapter 10, NPV, IRR, modified internal rate of return, payback, and discounted payback. And let me say this on payback and discounted payback. I don't care how you find it. You can use the if statement. You can just compute it manually. I don't care. It's up to you. Net salvage value was from chapter 11. Price after a stock split, there was 2 or 3 of those in chapter 14. 5, 7, and 8, I think. Break-even quantity is chapter 15, and levered and unlevered beta is chapter 15. So that kind of breaks it down as to where all those come from. And you can see it's pretty well spread out over the whole thing. Is there any particular thing you'd like to see me work, actually? I mean, I can go find something, but this is pretty well, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, just a real quick question to clarify about the payback and discounted payback. Is that something that we can calculate with our calculators?
Yes. You can
Okay.
you can use your calculator for anything you want to.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, let's be honest. Why would you use it for modified internal rate of return when there's a function? I mean, to do modified internal rate of return manually is not easy. It's got a function. Payback, there's no function. You can do it with an if statement. You can do any of this with your calculator and plug the answer in. Absolutely. You'll just miss the opportunity for partial credit if you get it wrong. Is that fair? Because I won't be able to see what you did. But payback, yeah, I'm not as concerned about, and I'm certainly not concerned about percent rank. In fact, I should have suggested to Michael Earhart that he just take that out.
Can we use scrape paper?
Hmm?
Can we use your white paper like a scrape sheet? To do
Oh,
the
yeah.
calculation?
You can have scratch paper. You've got a whiteboard in Proctorio. You've got a scientific calculator, I think. But, you need your regular financial calculator. You can have the formula sheet. Yeah, you can have all of that. And of course, you've got Excel, which is awesome.
So
Wait, did you say that we could have our formula sheet?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let me go over here and find it. It's horrifically long.
That 20 pager, is that the one you're referring to?
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it because when I pull it off of the ebook, see, you get a blank page there, but it's a PDF and there's nothing I can do. I mean, I don't know how to cut it out. You can print it and throw it away, but yeah, the formulas are there. There's another blank page.
We can use a printed copy for the exam.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah, because it won't let you open another tab. I think I marked that one. There's another blank page. So print it out. There it is, chapter 10, 11, 14. See? Yep. It's huge. It's 20 pages. But like I say, there's nothing I can do about the blank pages. So.
Quick question about the conceptual questions. Are any of those going to be short answer?
No. No, they're all multiple choice. Everything, all the conceptual and multiple choice. And they're not meant to be tricky. They're not meant to be.
So all these conceptual questions will also be from these categories? The categories?
I didn't really categorize the conceptual ones in particular. I can go back and try to figure out what chapters they're from. Mm-hmm. But not particularly, no. Okay. I had a professor when I was a graduate student that I was grading some of his tests. He loved to use true-false questions because he said you could cover so much material in a true-false question. I hate those things because you're always suspicious when it says always. Is it always or usually? Yeah, I mean, I just don't like them. I don't like it. But these are all multiple choice, so the answer is there. I don't think any of them, let me look at them real quick, but I don't believe there are any that say none of the above. I don't like that either. I don't think there are any that are like that. So the answer is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been going through the chapter summaries at the end of each chapter, and all of the conceptual questions that you just mentioned I read in the chapter summaries. So is that a good place to?
I would say yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's say I'm trying to hit
helpful.
the high points here.
Yes.
I laugh sometimes because I've had students, somebody did ask about an open book test. Open book test is not a good thing because then the footnotes are fair game. You think about it. So I'm trying to hit the high points, just the high points here. Make sure you understand the material before you move on.
Right.
Okay.
What is that half point for? What did you mean? Half a point for what? For like trying the question? You said like a half a point.
No. Oh, I was saying if I looked at your question and you didn't get the whole thing wrong, you just made a little mistake, I wouldn't take off the whole 3 points. I'd just take off a little bit.
Okay.
Partial credit. Because if I look at how you tried to work the problem, I can tell the difference between you just made a little mistake or you really had no clue what you were doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I can tell. Okay, I don't know what else because I don't. For my undergrad classes, I would work some problems like this, but I think you all have seen all of these examples of how to work these. I don't think you need examples of how to work them. You just need to know which ones to look for.
Do we need to worry about the decimal places in Excel when you make the final answer?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Because I'm going to see it.
Okay.
MindTap, you have to worry about the decimal places. I fussed about that too. Cengage is getting a little tired of hearing from me. But yeah, no, because I'm going to see your answer. I'm going to actually see it. So I'm going to pull up your spreadsheet. They'll all come to me just like the assignments do, needs grading. What I actually do is pull up each one, save it under your name, print the recap, and then I grade the recap, and then I go back and look at each one. So it'll take me a while to do it. That's okay. Anything else I can help with? Anything? I don't think there's any of these problems that it's not clear what I'm telling you I'm going to ask you about. you should always expect in finance time value of money, bond pricing and yield of maturity, beta of a portfolio. I'm sorry to take expected return and standard deviation, but since you've got Excel, that won't be too bad. Non-constant growth stock, Black-Scholes, NPV, IRR, MIRR, those are pretty well basics. So I think we're good. This was neat. I've never done this with my graduate class before. I've never done a Zoom thing with my graduate class, but this.
All the problems will be in these categories, right? We don't have to look for the other ones, right? Other problems.
Nope. They're all in that category. I swear. I went through and looked at each one to be sure what I was asking about. And I think this pretty well covers everything that we covered. Yeah, I'm good with it.
I think a 50% weight on a final is the reason why you have such a greatly populated Zoom call tonight.
I think so too. And that, that truly did not make me happy. But here's what happened. Of course, when we went to 5 weeks, that's what did it. Because with an online class, I want every section to open on the same day, end on the same day. Well, we open on Sunday, close, open on Monday, close on Sunday. Okay, if you put in a test, that takes out a whole week. We didn't have another week. Otherwise, you would have been looking at 4 chapters a week instead of 3, which was already a lot, a lot. So I just concluded, you know what? As bad as it is, just doing it this way. One of you's in law school. Who's in law school? Are you here? Somebody is JD and MBA. In law school, that's what they do. They have 1 test. So he's probably okay with it. No, it is not optimal. I don't think it's optimal either. I truly do not, but it just wasn't anything else I could do. So anyway, any other questions? I think I went through. There are end of chapter problems that look pretty much like these. They're pretty straightforward. They're not meant to be tricky. There's no percent rank. There's no problem like that A and B where B was only 6 years. There's none of that. There probably is an MIRR with a negative cash flow out in the thing. I can't remember. But if you're using the MIRR function, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It only matters when you're doing it by hand, which my undergraduates struggle with. Let me just say that. We've been over that.
This is a very specific question, but will there be a problem similar to the new project analysis question that we had in chapter 11? I believe it was like end of chapter question number 9.
Chapter 11. I'll go look, and I'd have to go look at it and see.
Okay.
But I can answer you. New project analysis. Trying to think I'm thinking that there is one on there. I'm thinking there might be one that's something like that. Virus and threat, whatever. Post that question in the discussion board and then I'll answer it there, okay? So everybody can see it, if you would, okay? But I wrote it down, chapter 11, number 9. And I'll look and see. I'll look at it and see. Any other questions? Anything else I can make you feel better about this? Anything you think of between now and anytime, email me. I'm here.
On your list, you wrote price after a stock split. Do you know what chapter that's in?
14. Because it has to do with distributions. It's in the same chapter with dividends. It's in chapter 14. Look at 14, 5, 7, and 8. Chapters, problem 5, 7, and 8. End of chapter. ELC problem 5, 7, and 8. I've got a note here about it. Okay. It is great to see all of you all.
Does it cover the dividend split also, or just the price?
Just the price. The price. Just the price. See, 50% on a test, and it scared everybody into coming. What a concept. I hadn't thought of that before. I might could have gotten more attention from my undergraduates.
Reading blueprint problems would help for the conceptual. the blueprint, the practice?
I can go look at some of them. I have not looked at those blueprint problems that much because I was more concerned with the ones that were graded, that the ones we were putting points on, as opposed to the ones that were just for review. And Lord knows, MindTap gives you a ton of review material, which is great. I mean, Lord knows I'm for it, particularly for an online class. I think that's terrific. Let me make a note on that. Go look at the blueprint problems. Blueprint. Okay, I'll check that too. Anything else? Any other questions? I'm willing to answer.
You'll be sending the recording, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, the little red dot is blinking. I might go edit out the beginning. I pull it up in Camtasia and edit out the beginning where we're just babbling. But yeah, I'll put it, it'll come, I'll get it tonight and put it out there. Absolutely.
Janet.
And you can email me anytime, ask anything. I want y'all to do good on this. This has been a tough semester in a lot of ways.
Well, thank you for going through it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know that I hope I helped you some, or at least reduced your stress over it. Yeah.
Absolutely did.
Yeah, it does. Thank you. Yeah, we are feeling a little more comfortable now.
Yeah. Well, I liked it better when we could have had 2 exams, and then you would have had a good picture of what they were going to look like. You'd had a much better feel for it, even though the final has to be comprehensive. University policy, it's required. But at least you've seen the little sample test, so you know what it's going to look like. Mm-hmm. And believe me, having Excel is a big advantage, big time. Mm-hmm. You all need Excel skills. I don't care what you think, you do. Mm-hmm. Whatever area of business you're going to be in, you're going to need Excel, or you can use it. Right? Yeah. So you might as well get your skill level up. Okay. Thank you all for coming. I will post this and I'll send an email when it's posted, and I'll check on both of these, Chapter 11, number 9, and the blueprint problems. Anything else you think of, feel free to email me. I want you all to relax about it. Don't get stressed. It's going to be okay. I see you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No, I love getting to see all of y'all. See, this is way better than my undergraduates. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, well, what can I say? Anyway, thank you all for showing up. I hope it did relieve your stress some. Any other questions you think of you want to ask about what it's going to look like, I'll be happy to answer, but I kind of think I've told you what the problems, and of course the problems are worth 75% of the test. So, and it's pretty clear what they are. The conceptual, nobody ever likes those. Just let me just go there. Nobody ever likes those. But I kind of feel like you particularly when it relates to a definition or a formula without numbers, you need to have a concept in your mind of, if this changes, how is this going to change without numbers in it? You need to get a visual on, how that's going to work. And I do think that's important. So, okay. Thank you all. I will end it, and I will send you an email when it's out.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Good
much.
luck, everybody.
Thank you.
Ace this. Ace this thing. You can do this.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.